Once upon a time, in a far-off land, there lived a little girl named Briar Rose. She was the kindest and sweetest girl anyone had ever met. Her home was a small, quaint cottage deep within the Enchanted Forest. Every day, Briar Rose would wander through the forest, picking flowers and chatting with the animals who lived there. The forest was a magical place, filled with talking birds, dancing deer, and friendly bears. One day, as Briar Rose was walking through the forest, she came across a beautiful rose bush. It was unlike any rose bush she had ever seen before. Its petals were the most vibrant red, and it seemed to glow in the sunlight. Briar Rose reached out to touch the rose, but just as she did, a voice boomed out, "Don't touch the rose, Briar Rose. It is under a terrible curse." Briar Rose was startled, but she couldn't help but be curious. She asked the voice who it belonged to, and a wise old owl flew down from a nearby tree. The owl explained that the rose was cursed to prick anyone who dared to touch it, and the person would fall into a deep sleep for 100 years. But Briar Rose was not afraid. She knew that she could break the curse. The owl told her that the only way to break the curse was to find the prince who lived in the palace at the end of the forest, and true love's first kiss could awaken the sleeping beauty. Briar Rose set out on her journey, determined to find the prince and break the curse. She walked for days and nights, over hills and through valleys, but she never gave up. Finally, she arrived at the palace gates. The guards were surprised to see a little girl, but they let her in, and she went to find the prince. The prince was kind and handsome, and he was delighted to meet Briar Rose. He was surprised to learn that she had come to break the curse on the rose, and he was determined to help her. They set out together, following the path that the owl had shown Briar Rose. They faced many challenges along the way, but they never gave up. Finally, they arrived at the rose bush. Briar Rose reached out to touch the rose, but the prince stopped her. He knew that if he was the one to touch the rose, he would fall into a deep sleep, but he didn't care. He kissed Briar Rose instead, and the curse was broken. The rose wilted, and the forest returned to its normal beauty. Briar Rose and the prince were married, and they lived happily ever after. The end.